as Ernie Banks said, let's play two. Yeah, it's time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. And tonight, it's the New York Yankees against the Baltimore Orioles in the second game of a doubleheader from Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. I'm Michael Kay. We'll be joined in a moment by David Cohn. Well, the Yankees had that awful loss to the Mets last night. First game of the doubleheader, they had a 4-1 lead over the Orioles. Looks like, okay, an easy one. Nothing's easy. Orioles ended up tying the game at 4. The game went to extra innings. And in the second extra inning, a very big hit by Miguel Andujar. He actually entered the game as a pinch runner. And in his first at-bat, he lines a single to right field. And who scores? Jonathan Holder. Yeah, I said that right. And he gets congratulations. And then, this is the final out of the game. Chad Green gets a fly ball to Tauchman. And the Yankees win the first game by a score of 6-5. So now they're looking for the sweep. And the starting pitcher in this game is going to be the youngster Deivi Garcia. And David, I'll tell you what, if they could get anything approximating what he did in his Major League debut, they'll sign up for it right now.
Yeah, he left you wanting more. I mean, it was that good. And all of the hype and, all of the anticipation really was worth the wait, as this kid really does have a cut above in terms of stuff and demeanor on the mound at such a young age. He flashed it all with Eric Kratz behind the plate. A good changeup, much improved changeup, that fastball that really plays up. And then that devastating curveball, that high spin rate on that curveball. So it all works together. This kid's got the total package. And when he fills up the strike zone like he did against the Mets, he's tough to hit. And yeah, he deserved a hug after that one.
Now, the Yankee bullpen a little bit shaky right now with so much usage, so they had to activate the rookie Clark Schmidt, and they sent down Ben Heller. So that's the move going into the second game. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees-Orioles next, right here on Yes.
That they want it just as badly, and there's people at home that want it just as badly for them, and they're not around them. They're not around their family. Being older, hopefully I can be somebody that can step in and help that relationship, because I got kids too, and I hope somebody would treat my kids that way.
David, that is very moving, and it tells you the type of player Eric Kratz is, and you also, it's kind of a little bit of a view into what might be in the future for this guy, because this guy has special things ahead of him.
Well, he does. I mean, if you're an organization, there's something more valuable than batting average or framed runs or how you handle a pitching staff. There's character, and this guy has loads of it, and he can do a lot of things for an organization, a lot of hidden value there.
Great stuff. Great stuff, how emotional he got. And we actually had to cut that up because there were times that he just had to stop speaking because he couldn't get it out without sobbing. That's how special a person Erik Kratz is, and that's why the Yankees are carrying 3 catchers, because they don't want to lose Erik Kratz. Now, one interesting thing that we should point out, both managers in the first game used the pitchers to start the extra inning because the pitchers were the guys that would have been the last batter up in the previous inning. And I think that both managers, maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves, but both managers, I believe, might have not known the rule. Because if the player in the batting order, according to the rules, immediately preceding that half inning's leadoff batter is the pitcher, the runner placed on second base at the start of that half inning may be the player preceding the pitcher in the batting order. Any runner or batter removed from the game for a substitute shall be ineligible to return to the game. So they could have used the previous batter. Instead, they used the pitcher. And I think the only reason you use the pitcher is you think that you had to.
Yeah, I mean, we're all learning the new rule, right, as we move along here. And that's the idea. And that makes sense because the last thing you want to do is have a pitcher out on the bases that he's not trained to do and potentially getting hurt. We've seen that happen time and time again. Yankee fans remember Chen-Ming Wong getting hurt on the bases and never being the same pitcher after that. So, yes, that makes sense, Michael.
All right, so the Orioles have taken the field for Game 2. Let's take a look at the Yankees lineup. Brought to you by TikTok. It starts on TikTok. Aaron Hicks in center, Luke Voigt the DH, Brett Gardner's in left. The middle of the order, Clint Frazier in right, Mike Ford at first, Miguel Andujar at third. Erik Kratz, you just saw him. He'll catch and bat seventh. Batting eighth, the shortstop Tyler Wade, and Tyro Estrada, the second baseman, will bat ninth. And they're going to face this right-hander for the Orioles.
Yeah, Jorge Lopez, 27-year-old right-hander from Caguas, Puerto Rico. You see, he's been mostly a reliever, but is going to slide in there and get his second start on the season here today. A little bit of everything, mixed bag in terms of hits, walks, and strikeouts, and opposing average 278 against him.
Let's take a look at the Orioles defense, which is presented by Geico. You've got Mountcastle in left, Mullins in center, and Stewart over and right. In the infield, it's Ruiz, Velasquez, Baleka, and Herrera. That's third to first. Severino is behind the plate, and Lopez is on the mound. Hyde used every single bench player that he had in the first game. And Kenny Singleton, who has a great commute. Kenny, did you eat any dinner between games? Are you okay?
Yeah, I was fine. During the first game, I could actually smell something cooking in the kitchen, and it turned out to be sausage and peppers. Really good.
Nice. Well, good to have you back for Game 2. Hicks is ready. Lopez is ready. Now let's do it again in Baltimore. And the first pitch is outside. We're underway. John Tumpain is the home plate umpire. Jose Navas at first. C.B. Buckner at second. And Ryan Wills is over at third.
Lopez is actually in the rotation now because Wade LeBlanc, the veteran left-hander, is out with an injury.
Ground ball to third. And there's one away. Pitch to Voigt is low. Two 2-0. So after game one, the Yankees optioned Ben Heller, who pitched in the first game, to the alternate site, and they activated Clark Schmidt, who, when he comes in, if he comes in, will be making his major league debut. Fly ball left field. Mountcastle puts it away. 2 away.
No small thing either. Obviously, you're starting the clock ticking on Clark Schmidt to get him on the 40-man roster and then onto the major league roster as well.
Yeah, but we saw Clark Schmidt in spring training, and we knew there was a future there for him. with that great curveball, excellent fastball. You know, one of the best pitching prospects in the game.
Now from our buddy Connor Foley in Scranton, Clark Schmidt is lined up with Davey Garcia, and on full rest, he threw 62 pitches on Sunday at the alternate site. So if they need him today, he can come in. Now the Yankees did have a 40-man roster spot that was open. They had designated Jordy Mercer earlier in the week, so they had to move Schmidt onto the 40 before they could bring him up to the roster in the big leagues. And by doing that, they start his clock as well. But the bullpen's been used a lot lately, and they needed another arm. Gardner had a very big hit for the Yankees in the first game, a 2-run single to center field. He was 2 for 4 with a walk, and remember, he's been struggling mightily. And for the second straight game, they have him batting third in the order. And in this game, also, DJ LeMahieu getting a rest. But he'll be available off the bench. Bring in one.
Yeah, during the course of a regular 162-game season, there are players who have been deemed over the years to be second-half players. But the second half this particular year is only 30 games. So you really got to get it together quickly.
Ground ball to second. Baleka gets Gardner, and the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3 against Lopez. Davey Garcia will take the mound as the Orioles come to bat in the bottom of the first.
This Friday.
They're wondering what happens now.
The Illuminati will see you, Stephen.
Oh, that's something. The multiverse will change you forever.
We will see what kind of Doctor Strange you are.
Marvel Studios' Doctor Strange. Rated PG-13. Seen in premium large formats in IMAX. Only in theaters Friday.
Customers want always-on access to their money, and machine learning-based anomaly detection and incident response is how we're helping with that. Identifying how outages happen so we can fix them fast? That's machine learning at Capital One.
The Orioles starting lineup he'll face, brought to you by TikTok. It starts on TikTok. Cedric Mullins in center field leads off. Then it's DJ Stewart in right. Renato Nunez the DH. Severino will catch. Mountcastle in left. Rio Ruiz at third, and he's going to bat sixth. Batting seventh, the second baseman, Pat Baleka. The first baseman is Dilson Herrera. He'll bat eighth, and batting ninth and playing shortstop, Andrew Velasquez.
Davey Garcia going to get start number 2 in the big leagues, and if it was anything like start number 1, wow, watch out. No walks to me, Kenny, was the most impressive part. We knew he had the stuff, but he filled up the strike zone with all of his pitches.
You know, not only that, David, the fact that he remained calm. I mean, what did you feel like at your first major league start? I knew my knees were knocking when I took my first at bat.
Very confident young man.
The 1-0. Outside 2-0. Three and 0 on Mullins. There's a strike. And the count is full at 3-2.
You see Davey Garcia try to come all the way back here after falling down 3-0 to the leadoff guy.
By Garcia, one away.
What a comeback by Davey Garcia. Falling down 3-0 all the way back. A little kick save gets the out.
And that'll bring up DJ Stewart. And there's a strike.
Michael and David, I watched Garcia's first start, and it seemed as though his fastball gained velocity as the game moved along.
Yeah, I agree, Kenny. I mean, he also, it's just, there's a life to his fastball that kind of makes that velocity play up.
Strike three. Stewart down looking. A lot of movement on that fastball. Almost came back. Here's Nunez. Riding fastball, 0-1. Coming out, working quickly, throwing strikes, 0-2 on Nunez.
Have a good shot there for behind home plate of how Nunez really wheels and deals, almost turns his back to the hitter. Throws across his body, which increases that deception.
Swing and a miss, impressive. First inning for the youngster, 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts. We'll go to the second in game 2, 0-0.
If you're always asking, where next? Capital One has a new class of travel card for you. Venture X. Earn 10x miles on hotels and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel. Venture X. What's in your wallet?
Well, both starters deal 1, 2, 3 innings in the first inning. And for the Yankees, it'll be Frazier, Ford, and Andujar against Lopez. Yankees come into the game at 21-16 after their Game 1 win. And the Orioles are 16-21. It was also Game 1, the Yankees' 19th straight win against the Orioles and 18th straight in Baltimore. Shifting for Frazier, 3 infielders on the left side. And he grounds one foul, 1-1. Frazier got a big hit in that 9th inning. His RBI single was the difference in the game. It made it 6-4, so the Orioles scored a run in the bottom of the inning. So Frazier's single ended up being the game winner. Lopez throws hard. Count 2-1.
Lopez actually made 18 starts for the Royals last year before coming over to the Orioles.
Strike 3. Frazier down looking. Let's check out the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers, and we go to Studio 29 and Ken Singleton.
Well, thank you very much, Michael. The Yankees, they won 19 in a row against New York. They want to keep the line moving. And watch how Eric Kratz and Garcia interact during the course of the game, how the veteran catcher just eases the pitcher through the game, the youngster through the game. And the only way during a doubleheader, you got to win the second game to laugh in the shower, whether you've lost the first one or not. But it's even more laughter if you win both games.
And with tomorrow night game, the Yankees could relax after this, kind of reset, get some rest. Because they've been running on fumes of late. This is the 4th doubleheader in the last 10 days for the Yankees. That's a lot, but that's the world of 2020.
Yeah, we've kind of gone from almost no doubleheaders during the course of a season to plenty of them.
Ground ball right to Ruiz, the only guy on the left side. 2 away. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 81 degrees, 60% humidity, not much wind. It's partly cloudy in Baltimore. And that brings up Andujar, who had that big hit in the 9th. Now, he could get his run that he needs and wants to get the consistent at-bats, especially with the injury to Urshela. He didn't start Game 1 because he got to the ballpark very close to game time, but he is starting Game 2.
Michael, don't you find it kind of ironic that Andujar might be taking over at third because Urshela was injured?
Yep.
A couple of years ago, it was the opposite last year.
Slow roller, going to be a tough play, and it's going to be a base hit for Andujar, and he'll take it. So a 2-out single for Andujar. You know, we mentioned the Yankees have now won 19 straight against the Orioles as he just topped that one. And that's the second longest winning streak the Yankees have ever had against an opponent. It ties the 19 straight against the Philadelphia Athletics. The most they ever had was 21 in a row against the St. Louis Browns in 1927. And those were the forerunners to the Orioles.
Time you say the St. Louis Browns, I think about Arthur Richmond.
Yep.
Of course, Arthur Richmond.
Yeah, the Orioles.
Excuse me, Kenny. Of course, Arthur Richmond was.
Go right ahead, Tony.
Yeah, Arthur Richmond was a longtime executive for the Mets and the Yankees. And was with the St. Louis Browns at one point.
We all loved Arthur too.
To Kratz is a strike. 20 Major League Baseball games being played today, 5 doubleheaders. And if they're all played, that'd be the most Major League games in one day since August 4th of 1974. That day, there were 9 doubleheaders. And there were just 24 teams before expansion. So a lot of firsts in this weird year.
You know that was a long time ago because I was playing.
2-2. Nice stab by Severino, saving a wild pitch. 3-2.
Yeah, manager Brandon Hyde has been very complimentary of Severino and his athleticism behind home plate. And maybe even more complimentary this year because he's starting to swing the bat better.
In the kitchen, and he fouls it off. Tanaka has a good seat for this game.
Trying to get an autograph.
Runner goes. A ground ball right to second. Baleka will get Kratz, and that'll do it in the second. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We go to the bottom of the second. 0-0. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Burt Rehabilitation Hospital, a member of the Montefiore Health System, where you can safely resume your rehabilitation in the Bronx and Westchester. By the New York Lottery, get out there and play. By FW Web, the official plumbing, heating, cooling, and PVF supplier to the New York Yankees. And by FanDuel, there's more ways to win on FanDuel. No, the honeymooners do not follow us. It will be a post-game show with Bob and John and Meredith. But that's a long way off. We're in the bottom of the second. Nothing.
I'm always a fan of the honeymooners references. I was thinking Pink Floyd more, but I'll go with you.
But that wasn't the dark side.
That's true.
Lined into left field. It is a base hit for Severino. Why don't we take a look at the Yankees defense? It's presented by Geico. You've got Gardner in left, Hicks in center, and Frazier over in right. In the infield, it's Andujar, Wade, Estrada in fourth, third to first. Kratz is behind the plate, catching Garcia. And Kratz has done very well behind the plate. When he catches, the Yankee pitchers seem to do very, very well. That one is drilled deep to left field off the bat of Mountcastle, and that ball is gone. A home run by Mountcastle, a two-run shot, and the Orioles lead 2-0. And that is the first damage ever against Davy Garcia.
Yeah, I happened to watch the game where Mountcastle hit a couple of home runs, and he's very quick inside. You can see this pitch was kind of tailing in on him, but he still quick-stroked it. And you heard the reaction from the Baltimore bench as they take the lead 2-0.
Garcia allowed a run in his first game, but it was unearned. But here, a single and a home run to start the second. Garcia fumbles, regains, fires, and the throw pulls forward off the bag, allowing Ruiz to reach. That'll be an E1. Probably hurried it just a bit when he didn't have to. Ruiz is not a speedster.
That's what it looked like. You know, I agree completely, Michael. He had a little more time than he thought, a little bit of an in-between hop.
There's Pat Valleca. And a strike. Line and one hop. Wade Fields goes the second one on to first. Not in time. Valleca beat it out.
Ball's hit pretty hard, high hop. Excellent throw to Estrada. But Valleca runs very well. He gets down the line and beats the relay.
Here's Dilson Herrera. David, I would think you got to like that curveball. What an impressive curveball.
Yeah, it really is. It's a true hook with tight spin on it. I was kind of just taking note of how Davey reacts to now having an earned run average for the first time in his young career. You give up a 2-run shot, make an error, got a ground ball. Now you got one out. This is the time when you really pay attention. If you're on the Yankee bench as a pitching coach or a manager, see how he reacts to his first adversity.
Foul ball, 1-1 on Herrera. Two and one.
See, Davey's got a couple of different kinds of breaking balls. That's more the slider version there in the low 80s. His curveball's usually in the mid 70s. And that, to me, Michael, it's that separation, the velocity separation that he gets between his fastball and his low-end curveball.
David, at this point, do you think he's more like a two-pitch pitcher, or is there something else you might want him to add to his repertoire?
No, I thought he really flashed a pretty good changeup. That was the pitch we thought was a work in progress. And since he's moved to the first base side of the rubber, I think that pitch has improved greatly. We saw several changeups in his first start that were very effective. When you're a right-handed pitcher and you're going to pitch from the first base side of the rubber, you're opening up that left or right movement that the changeup gives you. When you throw across your body, it's much more favorable to be on this side of the rubber because then you can still extend and pitch right through to the target. You don't get your hips locked up as you would if you were on the third base side of the rubber.
Runner goes. Grounded foul.
Herrera is a player from Colombia, and there haven't been that many major leaguers from that country. But David and Michael, I always think of maybe the most famous one is Edgar Renteria, who got the winning hit in the World Series for the Marlins. I think it was 1997.
Swing and a miss. Runner goes. Throw to second. It's a strike him out, throw him out, double play. Good throw by Kratz. Herrera strikes out. And then you score a 2-4 on the caught stealing. 2-0 Orioles. Make 7 pregame picks that feature the storylines around the league and compete for cash every day with MLB Quick Pick. Restrictions apply. See rules and enter at MLB.com/quick pick. Really nice throw by Kratz to nail the base runner and end the inning on a strike him out, throw him out double play. 2-0 though. Orioles lead as we go to the third. Tyler Wade leads off against Jorge Lopez. And there's a strike. Ground ball through for a base hit. So Wade with a leadoff single.
Nice piece of hitting by Wade, just slashes it through the left side. You can see Ruiz at third base. He was uptight, guarding against the bunt and Wade's speed, and that enabled him to get the ball by him and slash it by him into left field for the base hit.
Well, he's the threat to run. Here's Estrada. Oh and 1. Blocked nicely by Severino. And he throws it into center field as Wade will now go to third. Speed, it does certain things. It unnerves the defense.
Well, Wade's going to move up on the wild pitch and then go to third on the wild throw. That was nowhere near second base.
Ground ball is short. Wade will score easily. The throw to first. They get Estrada, so an RBI for him. The Yankees are on the board. It's 2-1 Orioles. Here's Aaron Hicks in the leadoff spot for the Yankees tonight. He grounded to third to open up the game. He pinch hit in the 8th inning of the first game and wrapped into a double play.
Yeah, I mentioned in the first game when he was hitting right-handed how much further off the plate he stands. You can see the difference. He's up there left-handed now, and he's a step or two closer, maybe a step and a half.
Well, that's a great call, Kenny. I mean, because he is so much more of a pull hitter batting left-handed, and you being a switch hitter as well. I mean, it's very rare to see the same swing from both sides of the plate, for switch hitters, but Hicks is really opposite ends of the spectrum.
Fly ball, center field. Mullins has room as they turned him loose on 3-0, and he skies out the center, 2 away.
And Tony, I think that is a factor of Yankee Stadium. He's trying to pull the ball more left-handed.
Here's Luke Voigt, fly ball to the left in the first, and Lopez drops in a breaking ball for a strike.
When I was with the Mets, Kenny, we had a switch hitter break in, Greg Jeffries, and he was probably the closest to the same swing from both sides of the plate that I ever played with.
Fly ball, shallow center. Mullins comes in for the easy catch for the final out. But the Yankees get a run on 1 hit, 1 error, nobody left. We'll go to the bottom of the third, 2-1 Baltimore.
No matter the shape of your business, Square can keep it all connected. Sign up in minutes at square.com, and with your one account, you can offer dine-in, delivery, and pickup, or streamline inventory with stock counts and forecasts, or turn estimates into invoices you can track from anywhere. Sign up with Square today and get tools that work with whatever form your business takes. Get started free at square.com.
Marakovitz, and it's time for tonight's injury report, brought to you by Montefiore Doing More. Gleyber Torres faced live pitching for the second consecutive day at the alternate site in Scranton. According to Aaron Boone, the plan is to have Gleyber Torres travel to Baltimore on Saturday with the expectation that he will be activated Sunday. Guys, it goes without saying, that would be such a big boost to this Yankees team.
And he probably wants to come back tomorrow. I mean, he loves hitting in this ballpark against this team, but they have to get him at bats. Velasquez fouls it away, 0-2. This is what he's done in Camden Yards last year, 7 home runs. You see them on StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. Count 1-2.
It wasn't only here in Baltimore. He hit 6 home runs against the Orioles in New York for a total of 13 overall.
Velasquez with a fly ball to left center. Hicks is right there, 1 down. So back to the top of the order, and Cedric Mullins. And a bunt. He has the most bunts of any player in baseball, most bunt hits, 7 bunt hits. And the Orioles have 12 bunt singles, the most in baseball, obviously. Oh, and 2.
You know, in a season that has been really a tough one for the Yankees, really across the board, all the injuries, you know, the frustrations. This is the bright spot. The young arms on the way, led by Davy Garcia and Clark Schmidt now activated.
Served into center field. That's going to dunk in for a base hit. So a single for Mullins with 1 out.
Yeah, but when's the last time the Yankees had 3 potential young starters all break in together? Could find out about them right away. This is the changeup, Kenny, and a good one down and away, and give Mullins credit for covering that pitch. Didn't hit it hard, but found some outfield grass.
Yeah, he just kind of one-handed that one into center field. He's way out in front, but kept his hands back just enough.
Quick move to first. Dives back, trying to keep Mullins close. Obviously a great threat to go.
One thing about Davy Garcia is that delivery is susceptible to run on. You know, the way he turns his back, it's a long delivery and kind of slow to home plate. It's really going to be a challenge for Eric Kratz to get Mullins if he chooses to go.
As opposed to Garcia, Kratz has a quick delivery. You saw it when he threw out Valleca.
Runner goes. The throw from Kratz not in time. Mullins with a stolen base.
Stolen base number 4 for Mullins. And it might have been an off-speed pitch. I'm not quite sure. I couldn't really see that well, but Kratz gets it there, but just too much of a jump and too much speed by Mullins. Better keep an eye on him here, too. Might think about third base.
So 3-0 on Stewart. Must have been very heartening for Garcia after his first start to see the tweets from Pedro Martinez, who was so complimentary of him, and they, throughout his young career, they've called Davy Garcia Little Pedro. He talked about his balance. He had great balance on the mound, loved his mixes of pitches. He's coming from a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer who's very generous, too, with his praise and advice. Probably the most influential pitcher of the last generation or so, Pedro Martinez.
You just think the Dodgers thought Pedro was too small and they traded him to Montreal. And that's where Pedro became a star.
You have a lot of debates, Michael and Kenny, about who's the greatest pitcher of all time. You know, the great Tom Seaver just passed away, and he's certainly in that conversation. If you talk to the hitters, universally, that face Pedro Martinez, they all say he was the toughest guy to face. More than Randy Johnson, more than Roger Clemens. You ask Cal Ripken Jr., who's the toughest pitcher you ever faced? Pedro Martinez was his answer.
Stewart really hanging in there.
You know, I think back to that All-Star game in Boston where Pedro struck out about 4 of the best hitters in the National League in a row. He was throwing fire that night.
Yes.
Long at bat. With another foul ball. Mullins, who stole second, he's there with one out. Just misses inside. That's a great at bat for Stewart. He works a walk. First and second with one out. These are some of the young arms. We saw Michael King in game one. Davy Garcia here in his second big league start. Clark Schmidt was activated and put onto the big league roster before game two. And he's the number 2 ranked New York Yankee prospect. That's overall, because number 1 is Jason Dominguez, the kid, who's 17 years old. And he's a positional player who could really hit.
Yeah, nicknamed the Martian.
And named Jason because his dad loved Jason Giambi, but spelled with 2 S's.
Looking forward to seeing Clark Schmidt. A really above average curveball, real downer tilt to his breaking stuff. Great spin on it.
You know, I was thinking about last time 3 starters. How about Jabba, Hughes, and Kennedy?
That's exactly right. It's been probably that long. You're right.
Yeah.
And then way back, it was Johnson. I'm blanking on the other 2. Jeff Johnson, Scott Kamenicki, and One more. I'll get it.
That wasn't Sam I Am, right? Militello? No.
I could see his face. Wade Taylor.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One and one. The pitch. 1-2.
David, that's the changeup you were talking about. That was a good one. Had Nunez way out in front.
Yeah, Kratz leading the way back there. David Garcia pretty much going with whatever Kratz is putting down. So a right-handed pitcher throwing a changeup to a right-handed batter at his age, that's advanced class right there.
And a fastball by him for the second out.
Great sequence, big sequence. First and second, one out, 2-1 changeup, and then finish with the high fastball. Great 1-2 punch.
Here's Severino. He singled to left in the second and scored on Mountcastle's home run. Orioles lead 2-1. We're in the bottom of the third of the second game of the doubleheader. Yankees won game one in extra innings 6-5. And there's a breaking ball strike. Skied the other way. Long run for Frazier. And he runs out of room.
I don't know about you, Michael and David. You know, some of the things that I miss. I miss seeing the fans scramble for foul balls. I miss seeing the look on a youngster's face when he gets that first ball. I just seeing no fans in the ballpark. It's just so foreign to me that. You know, I hope as soon as possible we can return to normal and get everybody back in ballparks and just feel that energy again.
Ditto. The 0-2. Fly ball deep right center. Going back is Hicks, and he makes a beautiful play for the final out. No run to hit, and 2 men left on base. We're going to go to the fourth.
Right there, right there.
Okay.
Okay. It's a way to send money to friends and family. Even if they bank somewhere different than you do. And it's in a lot of banking apps. Zelle! The answer is Zelle! Yes! Woo! Who's next? Are you guys next?
Zelle. Look for it in your banking app.
It's quite full-bodied.
Very savory on the palate. I'm picking up notes of mozzarella.
Have not had a man pass first base. And the ground ball is short. Velarde. He did it. He did it. No hitter for Jim Abbott. Jim Abbott.
That amazing replay brought to you by New York Presbyterian. Amazing things are happening here. That date, 1993. 9 innings, a no-hitter for Jim Abbott. And I personally, I want to get David and Kenny's thoughts on this. I think it's one of the most remarkable accomplishments in the history of sports. A man that was born without a right hand to be able to do that and just make himself part of forever on an afternoon in the Bronx, to me, still gives me chills thinking about it. And the backstory to that, in his previous start in the Audi scoreboard, 2-1 Orioles lead the Yankees in the fourth. His previous start against the Indians, he got slapped around the ballpark to the point that Buck Showalter was going to take him out of the rotation and decided to give him one more shot. And that shot resulted in a no-hitter. And David, you can appreciate it. You've been there with your perfect game. That was a remarkable accomplishment.
I could not agree more, Michael. Well said. I mean, it transcends just your normal historical achievement. So much surrounding that. Such an inspiration to so many people. And a great guy, you know, to this day, he would downplay it. He would deflect because that's the kind of guy he was. He just wanted to be one of the teammates, just another pitcher on the team. Who was that on the call?
That was Dwayne Stats.
That was Dwayne Stats.
Yeah. Usually after a no-hitter or a perfect game, you see quite a reaction from the players on the field, but you could see how genuine the enthusiasm was for that no-hitter in particular. And I just think that how many fans in the stands, everybody watching on TV, just locked into that game.
And what it meant to every person born with a disability, that there's nothing you can't do if you put your mind to it. Because, I mean, how many times was Jim Abbott told, you can't play ball at any level? And he conquered the college level and then went on to be a really accomplished major league pitcher, sending a message to everyone, don't let anything stand in your way. Because he never looked at himself as disabled, ever. Pitches outside to Clint Frazier.
What a tremendous athlete to pull that off the way he did it with the glove maneuver he did to throw the baseball, get his hand in the glove.
That one is lined deep center field, but Mullins got a great jump to haul it in. Boy, he covers a lot of ground.
Paul was absolutely smoked by Frazier. That's the second time, Kenny, that Mullins has done this, where you think that's over his head. There's no chance he's going to get there, and he makes it look easy.
And he was playing a couple of steps towards right center as the Orioles trying to double up Brett Gardner at first. You know, the key to any outfielder, whether you're playing center, right, or left, is that first step. And it appears that Mullins has it very quick, and he's going in the right direction right away.
Just got a text message from our colleague, Jack Curry, who texted Abbott this afternoon. And he texted him happy anniversary. And Abbott texted back, quote, I'm just happy that so many people remember. One-0 count on Ford, who grounded to third in the second. And if you ever want to read a great book and you have some time, Tim Brown of Yahoo Sports wrote a book with Jim Abbott. And it's 9 chapters, and It kind of ties together all 9 innings in Abbott's life. It's a really, really great book. Two 2-1 Orioles. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Runner on first. Check swing, 3-1.
Once again, favorable hitter's count. Look for something you can drive. If he makes a good pitch, you just take it.
Fly ball deep left center. Mullins on the track will put it away. And Gardner stays at first. I think he might have to hit it over the wall to hit it over Mullins' head.
What was the great line about Gary Maddox in center field? 2/3 of the earth is covered by water, and the other third covered by Gary Maddox in center field. Mullins kind of got a little bit of that going. So Lopez walked Gardner to start off the inning, and 2 long fly balls to Mullins. It's 2 outs. Two and 1. Infield single for Andujar in the second. Ground ball to third, Ruiz, and he throws it past Herrera into foul territory. Gardner will go to third. Herrera retrieves. So that's going to be an E5 as Andujar moves to second.
It was a tough play, but maybe Yankee fans will appreciate that when you see Gio Urshela make this play time and time again, even from foul territory. Ruiz from fair territory makes an inaccurate throw, and it's going to prolong the inning and keep the pressure on Lopez here.
So here's Eric Kratz, grounded to second. That was in the second. 0-1.
Dilson Herrera playing first base is not a first baseman, and trying to stay on the bag on that throw, Kenny, too. A little ill-advised.
Yeah.
Skied the other way, and it's a foul ball, just foul.
63 pitches from Lopez, just 31 strikes so far out of those 63 pitches. So kind of dancing around danger there, and I think he looked like he felt pretty fortunate that ball was foul.
Base hit could give the Yankees the lead. Count 1-2. Orioles 2, Yankees 1. A 2-run home run by Ryan Mountcastle. And for the Yankees, an RBI ground out by Tyro Estrada. Scored Tyler Wade in the third. That's scoring in this game. Yankees won the first game 6-5 in 9 innings. Kratz lays off that ball. I know you say that pitchers just have to shake it off, but there's got to be a party that's chapped that you're on the mound because of an error. And I know they make great plays behind you, but, I mean, everybody's a human being. You have to feel that.
You do. I mean, that's why on the mound, if you can forget about it right in the moment, there's plenty of time later to talk about it. And one of my favorite sayings is eyewash. There's literal eyewash right there.
Yeah.
That's real eyewash.
Looked like some dirt kicked up or on that pitch in the dirt and got in his eye.
Line drive, it's a base hit to left field. Gardner scores, and Duhar scores, and the veteran Eric Kratz picks up his son, Davy Garcia, and gives him back the lead 3-2.
Kratz comes up with a big base hit. Lopez gets one right down the middle, and Kratz will not miss it. You know, you were talking about the relationship between Garcia and Kratz, and Kratz and just teammates in general. Years ago, Kratz was a teammate of my son Justin's in the minor league system, and they still keep in touch with each other. And Justin says Kratz was one of his favorite teammates of all time.
Well, people that have played with him say that he's just the best. Remember, this is a 7-inning game. All doubleheader games are 7 innings, so this is about the 6th in a 9-inning game. Managers have to manage that way. 1-2 to Wade.
Well, how big is that throwing error from Ruiz now? Kept the inning going.
Swing and a miss. Wade down on strikes. But the Yankees get 2 runs on 1 hit. One huge error that Kenny's talking about. 1 man left. Yankees lead 3-2 going to the bottom of the 4th.
Our relationship with nature is broken.
The inequality has gone up in almost every country.
Rather about us saving up from ourselves.
Make sure that as we cover, we level up across our society, we build back better.
Nature's Own is never made with any artificial flavors or preservatives.
What big eyes you have.
So every meal ends happily ever after.
Great news, Yankee fans. 2021 season and group tickets are now on sale. To get all the information about 2021 season and group ticket packages, visit Yankees.com or call 212-YANKEES.
You see, Davey has really used that four-seam fastball tonight very well, following Eric Kratz's lead. He's had 5 swing and misses on those four-seam fastballs. The changeup, second most used pitch. To your point earlier, Kenny, and that good curveball, 7 of those. It's a well above average pitch.
Make it 8.
Audi scoreboard, 3-2 Yankees lead, bottom of the 4th inning. Ground ball to third, and Duhar. And Mountcastle showing great speed, beat it out. That was a normal ground ball.
Take another look. There was a bit of a double pump there before he delivered. And Mountcastle hustling all the way. Yeah, he's definitely safe.
Kid's got some talent. A home run, now an infield single. And here is Rio Ruiz. Rip foul. Ground ball. Second base, they go to second for one. On to first, not in time with the return. Time for some trivia. Who was the last Yankee catcher to start both ends of a doubleheader? Now, Kenny cannot guess this because he's the one who came up with the question there. So I think he knows the answer.
It's a good one.
Well, I'm going to try to put 3 and 3 together here. He was a teammate of Rick Dempsey's. Dempsey was a Yankee at one point. Maybe it's Dempsey? I don't know. Nope, it's not. He's shaking his head.
Didn't Wilbur Wood start both ends of a doubleheader one time?
Yeah.
The knuckleball, the great knuckleball.
Against the Yankees.
Yes.
So we're looking at in the 80s, Kenny?
Yeah.
All right, Kenny, we see you, so maybe you could hot or cold. Is it one of the Yankee? Did he have a long run as a Yankee catcher?
Not particularly, no.
Okay. The 0-2, and Baleka swings and misses. 2 away.
I will say this. This is the 89th straight doubleheader that the Yankees have used 2 different catchers since that day. I mean, it just doesn't happen anymore.
Ron Hassey? No.
No.
Butch Weiniger?
No.
It's been too long a day to do this to us, Kenny.
It's kind of good. I see a spinoff show happening here.
Maybe I should just do questions from now on.
It's a pretty good one.
Two and one on Herrera. Ruiz leads off first. There's a strike. Now, ball 2 is also a strike. Now it's evened up at 2-2. Was it spongy?
No.
That was my guess.
Yeah, that was yours? And Herrera gets plunked. So that moves Ruiz into scoring position. Now, while we're thinking of the answer, Kenny, I want to take you inside Yankee Stadium. Okay, so television crews don't travel with the team. And the stadium looks beautiful right now. The only lights on are the concourses, and there's a huge moon over the right field upper deck. And it's dark. So we have the light on in this booth. Meredith has the light on in her booth. John and Susan have lights on. David is the only one comfortable sitting in complete darkness in his booth. He does not have the light on at all. Got him on that right arm. Got him square, too.
Wow.
All right, so here's Meredith. Meredith with the lights on in her booth. There's me.
Hey, Rock.
And then
hey, Michael. You
guys
look great.
The Dark Knight.
I'm underneath that tarp.
Let me ask you that, guys. Is it kind of eerie in there?
The first couple of times, but it's kind of normal now. I like it. It's a new normal, but
yeah.
I mean,
how about when you have to leave after the game? Is it still dark?
Yes. But the concourses where you walk.
That can't be fun.
Where you walk, see, as you can see, the concourses are lit. So, I mean, they've been great here. It's been unbelievable. And it's made things very, very easy for us. But this stadium should have 50,000 people in it.
Yeah. I was going to say, how's the traffic after the game, but there's none.
Non-existent.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Kenny, I would trade another hour in the car in traffic just to have the world normal and have people at the ballpark.
Me too. There's no doubt in my mind.
So 1-1 count on Velasquez. 70 pitches for Garcia. Now, in game one, Chad Green became just the 5th Yankee pitcher in the Aaron Boone era to pitch in 3 straight games. So he's not available. Now, Chapman pitched in game one, so he's not available because that's 2 straight. I don't think they'll extend him. Ottavino has already pitched in 2 straight. Ground ball to first. Ford is there, flips to Garcia. They get Velasquez for the final out. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We'll find out who that catcher is when we return for the top of the 5th inning.
This Friday,
They're wondering what happens now.
The Illuminati will see you, Stephen.
oh, that's something. The multiverse will change you forever.
We will see what kind of Doctor Strange you are.
Marvel Studios' Doctor Strange. Rated PG-13. See it in premium large formats in IMAX. Only in theaters Friday.
Searching for a new Hyundai? Well, good news. The search is over. Check out this month's offers on new models. Call, come in, or click now for more details on your...
Oh, wow. I'll tell you what, Bob does it all. Future and headline writing, he's amazing.
Smells fishy.
I think you throw that one back. Hyundai scoreboard, 3-2 Yankees lead as Estrada takes a strike from Jorge Lopez.
Well, once again, we've reached the tack-on portion of the game.
And he gets plunked, and you wonder, is that because the Yankees hit Herrera? Which would be kind of foolish on Lopez's part. You're trying to keep the game at 3-2. This is not, you got 2 more games to play the Yankees. That might not be the time to do it, David.
It makes no sense. I mean, Herrera kind of turned into his. And he's got the guard on, but it still hurts even if you do have the elbow guard on. Direct hit off of that guard. But Herrera kind of turned into his. So it makes no sense if this is some sort of retaliatory kind of action.
Yeah, I agree, David, because you're starting off the inning. You're trying to you're setting up the Yankees for a scoring inning, a tack-on inning, if you will.
1-0. You know, we're going to have the answer to the Kenny trivia question in a moment, but it's just amazing. Yogi caught both ends of a doubleheader all the time. All the time. And Ralph Houck and Charlie Silvera just kept accepting World Series rings.
That is remarkable, yes.
Cesar Valdez is up for the O's. 3-0. Three one. There's Luke Voigt on deck. He's the DH tonight, batting second. It's popped up on the left side. And a long run for Ruiz to make the play. All right, so the trivia question we're laboring over: who was the last Yankee catcher to score both ends of a doubleheader? Elrod Hendricks was a Yankee catcher, but I don't think it was that. Kenny, tell us.
It was Bob Guerin.
Wow.
August 2nd, 1989. And the thing about it is that he hit a home run in the first game that helped the Yankees come back and win. Then he got to start in the second game. A catcher has never started both ends of a doubleheader since then for the Yankees. Now, you mentioned Yogi Berra, Michael.
Yeah.
In his career, he started both ends of a doubleheader 117 times.
Wow.
And it helped get him to the Hall of Fame.
Great question.
Well, that was with the help of the great James Smythe. I asked him the question, and he came up with the answer.
I have one Bob Guerin story, Kenny.
Okay.
This is during the Yankees' rough years when Bob was here. And at that time, they couldn't win 3 games in a row. It was rough. And Gene Monahan, the beloved longtime Yankee trainer, said to the team one day, if you guys ever win 5 games in a row, you can shave my head. And it was the last day of a homestand, and they won their 5th game in a row. And on the plane, they shaved Gene Monahan's head. And Bob Guerin said, you guys give me $5,000, you could shave my head. And the players got $5,000 together and shaved Bob Guerin's head. And you felt bad for Gene Monahan. He did it for nothing. And Guerin got $5,000.
Poor Gino.
Grounded to third. And they go to first as Estrada moves to second. I mean, the number you gave on Yogi, Kenny, it's so incredible. And
yeah,
If you look at Yogi's career, and if you ever stood next to Yogi, I mean, his accomplishments are otherworldly. They just are. This was not a very big guy. All those home runs and the 10 World Series, just amazing. 1-0 to Gardner.
It's a great point, Michael, because you said Yogi was such an American treasure, and noted for all the Yogi-isms. Go to Baseball Reference and look at his numbers, at how good they really were. Incredible offensive player.
And I think that's a great point. It gets lost in all the Yogi-isms and how beloved he was, but as a baseball player, incredibly special. He didn't make the Hall of Fame for the Yogi-isms.
They didn't hand out 3 MVPs for nothing,
19 seasons, 3 MVPs, 10-time World Series, All-Star 18 times. Nice curveball, 1-2. Ground ball to first, and that'll do it here in the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Yankees up 3-2. Ticket to the game. Leading the divisions, the Rays, the A's, the Indians, the second-place teams, White Sox, Astros, and Yankees. The Blue Jays lost the second game of their doubleheader, so they're 21-17. So if the Yankees win this, they get some breathing room over the Blue Jays. If not, then they're tied again, and the Twins are there at 24-16. So Davy Garcia is going to try to pick up his first big league victory. He's got to get through this inning without allowing a run. Hyundai scoreboard, Yankees 3 and the Orioles 2. There's the breakdown, pitches by inning. He's at 72. Kenny, you've opened up my mind to all these memories. I've got another Bob Guerin story that I thought of. You ready?
Go for it.
All right.
Yeah.
Bob Guerin, I mean, I could say this because Paul O'Neill always says it about me. Bob Guerin had a big head. He just did. He had a very big head. And that was when Mattingly had signed that long-term contract for $19 million. I think it was a 5-year deal. I mean, it was, people couldn't believe that anybody got that kind of money. And Steve Sachs, who was on that team, used to go around the clubhouse and tease Guerin about the size of his head. And he would walk in the clubhouse and just say it out loud. What would you rather have, Mattingly's contract or Bob Guerin's head filled with nickels?
Sachs.
Oh, man.
Is Guerin now the bench coach with the Dodgers still? I think he is.
I'll tell you, over the years, you talk about memories, and David will, I'm sure, will attest to this. Plane rides and bus rides, and, late in the morning, and just could be the most entertaining times of your life. When you got 25 guys and everybody's trying to outdo each other with the stories, sitting on the bus yelling at the manager, it's just things like that.
If we could only tell the truth, Michael.
Mullins lofts one to center. Hicks is there. And the beauty of Sachs' insult was he didn't go with quarters, he went with nickels.
Yes.
Here's DJ Stewart.
David, you talked about the poise of Garcia, and this is a big inning for a young pitcher. If he can get through this one and the Yankees hold on, he gets the win. And this is something he's been thinking about his whole life. Working hard in the minor leagues to get to this point.
Well, I mentioned early in the game, his first taste of adversity. He now had an ERA, gave up that 2-run home run. Well, you look up here in the fifth, it's still 2 runs on the board. So kind of passed that test.
And here's another guy whose heart is beating pretty fast right now. Clark Schmidt warming up for what would be his major league debut.
Well, the 2 best arms in the Yankee system right now. The one on the mound and the one in the bully.
Also does make you wonder, though, David. It's a 3-2 game. And you're going to bring in a guy who's a starter into the big league game for the first time in his life as a reliever to hold a 1-run lead. But that's how stretched their bullpen is right now.
Baptism by fire.
There's a strike.
You were talking about the keys to the game, and I talked about sliders and curves. Orioles are very aggressive. That was a nice slow curveball he dropped in for strike 1 on Nunez, who's a fastball hitter. He's looking for it.
David, again, why does his fastball play bigger than the number?
Well, I believe it's a combination of deception and the good life and the spin that he gets on it and the extension. It's a combination of a lot of factors. He's very athletic on the mound, long stride, great extension, and great deception. You can just tell by the hitter's swings. You see 92, 93 miles an hour, and they're late. A lot of foul balls. 18 foul balls on his four-seam fastball tonight so far. And 7 swing and misses on that particular pitch.
Swing and a miss. Nunez down on strikes. Let's check in with Meredith Morakovitz, who's done some detective work and found something out.
Hey, Michael, I told you earlier that the Yankees' plan was to have Gleyber Torres go to Baltimore tomorrow in hopes that he'd be activated on Sunday. But according to his Instagram, he is in Baltimore already. Now, nothing official, but that leads you to believe that he could potentially be activated tomorrow and join the team. We'll hear more from Aaron Boone on that after the game.
Looks like he also had a good meal in Baltimore, right?
Did. A little salmon, a little Caesar salad. Looked delightful. Something you would eat, Michael.
Did you say steak? Or did you say,
I said salmon Caesar salad. Right up your alley, bud.
That's a nice solid 0 for 2.
What day of the week is it, Meredith? I forgot.
I believe it's Friday all day for another 52 minutes, David.
There you go. Okay, so Saturday's tomorrow. Okay.
Also, Meredith, how long have you been here? You know Michael's not going to eat anything like that.
I know. I was just having a little fun with him, Kenny. We're in game 2 of a doubleheader, and the clock is about to strike midnight. Well, 52 minutes, but you know what I'm saying.
One and one.
Your point is right on target, Kenny, as you see pitch number 93 about to be delivered here, and the Yankee bench wants to get Davey through this. Almost hear him on the bench. That sounded like Aaron Boone there. Attaboy. Pulling for him every single pitch. How vocal Eric Kratz is back there, too.
Timeout called.
See managers and pitching coaches live and die every pitch as they're checking the count.
Because the count on the board went 2-2 because the ball was a ball, but time was called, so Boone's saying it's 1-2. And on the board, it's still 2-2 in Baltimore. There's a line drive base hit in front of Gardner. Stewart will stop at second. So first and second, 2 outs. Pitch count getting up there at 95. Do they allow Garcia to get this final out? No, they don't. As Aaron Boone was giving him that one batter, and now he's going to go to the bullpen. So another good performance by Davy Garcia. He leaves with the Yankees up 3-2, but the Orioles threatening.
It doesn't take much for you to switch your payments to Square. Sign up in minutes at square.com. Take your pick of hardware and find a place for the old stuff. Then you're ready to take payments. It's all pretty fast. Fast like you get your money instantly fast. And it's all pretty simple, with no long-term contracts or hidden fees. Because when you switch to Square, it doesn't take much to see how easy your payments should be. Get started free at square.com.
Well, certainly not as good as his Major League debut, but pretty darn good. Pitched well, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts in 4 2/3 innings, so he'll fall 1 out short of qualifying for a win. But he turns it over to his fellow rookie, Clark Schmidt, who is making his Major League debut. We've seen him pitch, David. What are your thoughts on Schmidt?
Well, Schmidt probably has one of the best breaking balls in the system. Power arm. Good changeup. Really knows what he's doing. Very polished for somebody that really has limited time in the minor leagues. He was a Friday night pitcher in college. Yankees thought so highly of him that even though he was due for Tommy John surgery, they still drafted him number 1. And it's a wise decision because here he is going to make his debut in a big spot.
Called up right before the second game. He was on the Yankee taxi squads, which you're allowed to have on road trips. He was one of the guys on the taxi squad, and after the bullpen was stretched in the first game, they said, well, we need another pitcher. So they sent down Ben Heller. Clark Schmidt was brought on, and here he is in a big spot against Mountcastle. There's a strike.
He was very impressive all the way back in spring training, Kenny. I think you and I both called the game. We saw Clark Schmidt, and it's hard to believe it all the way back in March, but yeah, he was impressive.
Well, they have to have a lot of faith in this kid. This is a pretty high leverage situation to bring in someone in their Major League debut. And he gives up a base hit to Mountcastle. DJ Stewart rounds third. He's heading home. He will score, and that ties the game at 3. And that run goes on Davy Garcia's ledger.
Back-to-back curveballs. You see this one stays there just a bit, but it's hit off the end, but hit in the right spot. Just enough to get by. A little humpback line drive.
Three for 3 that kid is. A home run. He's driven in all 3 Oriole runs. Here's Ruiz. First and second, 2 men out. 0-1.
Just saw some pretty good movement on a fastball as well, kind of tailing away from Ruiz.
Oh, 0-2.
Now, David, you used the term Friday night pitcher in college. Maybe you should explain what that is to some fans out there that might not know what it is.
Yeah, well, that's your best pitcher. Your number 1 pitcher in college. Usually pitch once a week, and Friday night's the night. And, he
Yeah, those are usually conference games. Over the weekend, the colleges and the conferences, they play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that's what David means. That Friday night pitcher is your lead guy. He's trying to get you that first win in a 3-game series.
1-2. Ground ball through for a base hit. Severino rounds third. He's coming home. He'll score. It's an RBI single for Ruiz. And the Orioles lead 4-3. Well, the ledger on Garcia is complete now. 4 runs allowed.
Fastball at 96, runs back out over the plate, finds a hole.
So the first 2 batters he faces both pick up RBI singles, and that brings out Matt Blake, the pitching coach, and that little meeting is going to be broken up by John Tumpane. He's got a little bit of a smile on his face. I wonder if Kratz is trying to break the tension there.
Yeah, I think so. That's what I'd be doing. He's a little bit unlucky, you know. The first hit was hit 75 miles an hour, kind of almost a broken bat hump back line drive that got through, and that was a decently struck ground ball, but it found a hole. So that's what I would have told him if I were Kratz. Stuff's good, a little bit unlucky. Let's get this guy right here.
There's Pat Valleca. And the pitch is outside. So Schmidt is 65th on Baseball America's top 100 prospects list. Davy Garcia is 3 spots behind him. 1-1. And the 16th overall pick in the first round in 2017 out of the University of South Carolina. And as David Cohn said, they selected him knowing he was going to have Tommy John surgery. The 1-1. 1-2. Line drive, a base hit to right field. Mountcastle will score easily. Ruiz is being waved home. And the throw is not in time. Going to third is Valleca. So it is a 2-run double for Valleca, and it's 6-3 Orioles.
Valleca with somewhat of an inside-out swing here, kind of fights it off, and the ball stays fair down the right field line. With 2 outs, the runners are off with the crack of the bat. Valleca watching the throw home, and he's headed for third.
Now, there's no denying this is a tough spot to put in a kid making his major league debut. And in a perfect world, it's not going to happen. And we're not making excuses for Aaron Boone. But where else is he going? The bullpen is stretched so much. They've been so overused that you can't bring in your high-leverage guy now. They're probably saving Ottavino in case there was a save situation. They've used all their top guys. So, yeah, not the perfect situation to bring in a kid, but see what he does under fire. So far, he's given up hits. And another thing, he's a starter. He's not a relief pitcher. So all these variables thrown at him, and they're thrown at him out of necessity.
Not only that, but the pressure for managers and pitching coaches to protect a young starter in Davy Garcia. Once he reached 95 pitches, you could say, hey, wait a minute. You know, we're talking about Yogi Berra and talking about the 80s, that maybe you could push him a little further. But nowadays, front offices definitely mandate managers to protect their young assets like Davy Garcia.
Swing and a miss. Herrera down on strikes. But the Orioles score 4 runs on 4 hits. They lead 6-3. Time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. And tonight's second picture comes 2,771 miles away from Yankee Stadium. Bob in San Diego is pretty far from the Bronx, so he created his own monument park. Pretty cool. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post your picture to social media to reflect your love for the Yankees, and we might spotlight you in a future game. Montefiore scoreboard 6-3. Orioles over the Yankees. As Valdez has taken over. Well, the Yankee choices to bring in, other than Schmidt, would have been Sessa, who threw 37 pitches on Wednesday after Heller got ejected from that game. Driven foul. Could have gone with Abreu, who gave up the game winner yesterday against the Mets. Could have gone with Nelson. So again, it's slim pickings, but I mean, we're being totally forthright. Bringing a rookie into his major league debut with runners on base, that's asking a lot when he's not a reliever, and it didn't go well. Did he go? He did not.
Yeah, we did see Ottavino standing in the first game. He was potentially available.
And I guess what they're doing is working backwards. Ottavino was going to close the game.
There you go. That probably was the script.
Well, the Yankees will have to rally here to sweep this doubleheader. 3 infielders on the left side for Frazier. Swing and a miss. He goes down on strikes against Cesar Valdez. 1 away.
Well, Cesar Valdez, very much of a movement finesse type pitcher. You can see that motion and kind of slinging it in there, and everything he throws has got movement on it. No power behind it, really. His top velocity is around 86 miles an hour on a sinker. Slider and a changeup, both in the upper 70s. Features a lot of them.
That one is grounded to Velasquez. He gets Ford. 2 away.
Kind of unconventional in today's game. We're so used to seeing relievers coming out of the bullpen throwing 95 plus, all the power arms. And Valdez kind of looks like me pitching on Old Timers Day.
The Orioles actually got him out of the Mexican League, and yeah, Coney, you're right. His best pitch is his changeup.
There's Andujar. Single, reached on an E5. He scored a run.
I think there's a place for this, Michael. You and I've talked to you about this. And diversity of styles. Now, if you get a whole bullpen and they all throw from the same arm angle and the same velocity, you get the same look. The hitters are going to adjust quicker. It's one of the things about the Rays bullpen that we just saw that was so effective. They had side armors that threw east and west, over the top power guys, north and south. So stylistically speaking, a pitcher like this, I think, can fit in. There's a place for them in the right mix.
And he walked him on 4 pitches. So a 2-out walk to Andujar. And that'll bring up Kratz. Kratz had a big 2-run single in the 4th inning. Gave the Yankees a 3-2 lead. And what a perfect story was being written. The father-son combination of Davey Garcia getting his first win and a guy who's been sort of a mentor getting the big hit, but that kind of went away in the bottom of the 5th inning. So Valdez has spent 3 years in the big leagues. It's been spaced out. 2010 in Arizona, 2017 between Oakland and Toronto, and now 2020 in Baltimore. And the other years he was in the Mexican League. That one is served into right center field. Another base hit for Kratz. And Duhar will go to third. Stewart gets the ball in, so Kratz is 2 for 3, and the Yankees have runners on the corners for Wade.
See that changeup almost turn over from lack of velocity. Speaking of turning it, Andujar turns second, heads for third.
So DJ LeMahieu is going to pinch hit for Tyler Wade. In game 1, another multi-hit game for LeMahieu. He was 2 for 5. Valdez misses outside. There's a strike. 1-2. Ground ball is short. Velasquez backhands, goes the short way, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th.
This Friday,
They're wondering what happens now.
The Illuminati will see you, Stephen.
oh, that's something. The multiverse will change you forever.
We will see what kind of Doctor Strange you are.
Marvel Studios Doctor Strange. Rated PG-13. Seen in premium large formats in IMAX. Only in theaters Friday.
It'll be interesting to see exactly what he has to say, because that's what he's going to be questioned about. Tomorrow night, don't miss the third game of this 4-game set between the Yankees and the O's. Live coverage starts at 6:30 with Audi batting practice today in the DraftKings pregame. Then we're back with the call right here on Yes.
You know, normally I would say yes if he was overmatched. I didn't see that from Clark Schmidt at all. I just saw, a little bit of unfortunate luck.
Montefiore scoreboard 6-3 Orioles, so now he gets that clean inning, and he has a ball to Velasquez to start off the bottom of the 6th.
Clark Schmidt in the last inning gave up 3 batted balls that were 75 miles an hour, 82 miles an hour, and 93 miles an hour off the bat. There's a random variance to this game, and it found Clark Schmidt in his first appearance.
Two and one.
If you see a young pitcher making his debut in a tough spot and he starts walking the yard or he looks overmatched, then I'd say, yeah, maybe it was the wrong spot. But that's not the case with this guy.
So John Tumpain and
I
Hyde.
I think that was about one of the strike calls here to Velasquez.
The strike in this sequence was below the bottom line on the box, and that's obviously what they were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And there's ball 4 as Schmidt walks Velasquez to start the 6th. So Estrada moves from second to short, and LeMahieu, who had pinch hit for Wade, takes over at second. And back to the top of the order, and Cedric Mullins.
Here's where you might see a bunt.
And he bunts it right up in the air, and it's caught by Schmidt, 1 away. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. David, any thought as a pitcher to letting that drop?
Not with Mullins' speed there, and it was too high. But
Okay.
yeah, it's a great question.
Because the runner at first was frozen there.
Yes, it was frozen, but Mullins is so fast. You would have traded base runners there.
Now the key is, did Mullins run after he bunted? So we'll take a look.
If you let it drop, though, it would
have picked up.
Because
Yeah.
it was so high. The bunt was a little too high.
Pitch outside to Stewart. Stewart's 0 for 1, struck out, and he's walked twice.
Velasquez has pretty good speed as well. He's stolen 3 bases this year.
There he goes. There's a strike. Throw to second. Not in time. Stolen base for Velasquez.
Good jump. Kratz tries to save it. Not quite.
Two and one. And Stewart gets
look at him.
So first and second, one man out with Nunez coming up. And with the Yankees down 6-3, this is Clark Schmidt's inning. There's nobody warming in the Yankee bullpen.
Yeah, back in the minor leagues, I can recall in some of the stadiums where, you always had, sometimes there weren't that many fans. You always had one guy who had a real loud voice that would carry throughout the ballpark. And that little sequence there with Schmidt and Kratz reminded me, this guy in the stadium would yell, "Don't scold him, school him." And I think that's what Kratz was doing, trying to get this young man through this inning.
And the pitch is low to Nunez. Nunez has struck out 3 times tonight. He had a home run in the first game. He was 1 for 5. Two and 0. Two one. Yankees have a 19-game winning streak on the line against the Orioles. And they have one more inning to make it up because this is a 7-inning game as part of a doubleheader. Breaking ball for a strike in the upper part of the zone. Fly ball. Hicks makes the play. Velasquez tags and goes to third. 2 outs. And now Pedro Severino with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Stewart's on first. Velasquez is on third. 2 men out. Bottom of the 6th. It's 6-3 Orioles. Second game of a doubleheader. Yankees won the first game 6-5. Breaking ball is high, 1-0.
Pretty much a 3-pitch pitcher. He will throw 2 different kinds of fastballs. He's averaged about 95 miles an hour. That slider, about 84 miles an hour, and a changeup to go with it. So very much of a power repertoire from Clark Schmidt in his major league debut here, trying to get out of this bottom of the 6th. You're grading his stuff just on pure stuff. That's a plus fastball and a plus slider, meaning above average major league pitches.
Fly ball deep left, going back. Gardner on the track at the wall. He makes the play for the final out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Last licks coming up for the Yanks.
Our relationship with nature is broken.
The inequality has gone up in almost every country.
After the game, as our Yes Studio team brings you highlights, analysis, and clubhouse reactions from today's doubleheader. Plus, the manager's report with Aaron Boone. That's all coming up on the WB Mason postgame on Yes. As Estrada takes a strike from Valdez, school is in session as Kratz and Schmidt, who spent a lot of time at the alternate site talking things through. And a strike. And down goes Estrada for the first out of the 7th.
Kind of a different look for the Oriole bullpen as we watch Valdez strike out Estrada on 75-mile-an-hour pitch. Bottom falls out of it. During this, as we look at it on YesMo, during this past, during the trade deadline, they traded Michael Givens to the Colorado Rockies. They traded Miguel Castro to the Mets. And those were pitchers that the Yankees saw quite often when they came to Baltimore or in New York when the Orioles were in town. One of the players that Baltimore got back from the Colorado Rockies was the son of the Yankee third base coach. Bill Devin's son Tyler came from the Rockies to the Baltimore Orioles organization. And Phil thinks he's going to get quite an opportunity to eventually make it to the big leagues here with the Baltimore Orioles. His son plays third base, first base, and a little bit of outfield.
And Phil's son is at their alternate site right now. And that YesMo, by the way, presented by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Still 2-2. Well, the Orioles used 7 pitchers in the first game, and Valdez was not one of them. They didn't use Valdez, Cole, Sulcer, or Paul Fry. Swing and a miss. And the Yankees are down to their final out.
Good movement on this pitch. You can see the changeup grip and the pronation on his hand to turn it over.
David, I agree with you. This guy is so unusual that he can get by, but you can't. I don't think you can overuse him in a series. You can't bring him in 2-3 days in a row.
Luke Voigt fouls it off.
I haven't seen a pitch drop like that since Gaylord Perry, and you know how Gaylord Perry made his pitches drop.
Voigt wraps one foul. So the Yankees have won 18 straight against the Orioles at Camden Yards, and that's the second longest winning streak in Major League history on the road. The Dodgers beat the Reds 19 straight, 1947 through 49. So the Yankees are 1 out away from having their streak fall 1 short. And overall, they've beaten the Orioles 19 straight times. And that's all hanging in the balance with 2 outs in the 7th. Ground ball to Paleka. And that'll do it as the Yankees lose this game 6-3. And the Yankees and the Orioles split a doubleheader. Valdez pitches 2 scoreless innings to nail it down for Jorge Lopez. Davey Garcia will get his first major league loss. So the Yankees lose this game 6-3. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up. And then, of course, we have a post game after that. So stay tuned on Yes.